Okay, so Netflix have got a new like spoof crime film. It is called Inheritance. Right? It is directed by Sylwester Jakimow, uh, written by Lukasz Sychowicz. It is produced by Jazzy Drigaloweski, Paul Heber, Masheb Shugika, and Roman Shapanik. Yeah, that's pretty much all the information. You got visual effects from Peter Dimas Zidonowicz, um, and then other visual effects from Rafal Dabrowski, Vlad Perlahin, Roman Pron, and Thomas Tesherman. The cast. Okay, so David is played by Maciej Stuhl. Natalia is played by Joanna Trepaniska. Sophia is played by Gabriela Moscala. Carol is played by Matus Kroll. Carol's boyfriend, Carol, is played by Peter Polak. Gustav is played by Peter Pakek. Who else? Vladislav is played by Jan Peszek. Lukasz is played by Adam Frenzy. Henrik is played by Franek Slominski. And his sister Josephina is played by Josephina Karnkowaska. Yeah, I destroyed all of those names. I realized that. Right, the gist of the film is this: when an eccentric inventor and game show host suddenly passes away, a family of bickering oddballs among them gathers with hopes of inheriting his fortune. To everyone's surprise, the unconventional uncle prepared one last game for them to determine who would receive his inheritance. It involves a series of tasks and puzzles, testing their ability to reconcile and work together. Now, this is sold as a film for fans of Knives Out, right? And Knives Out, right? It's a spoof on the kind of Agatha Christie whodunits. And it's like absurd, funny, but it's also very well put together, right? The mysteries and the red herrings and all of this, they're done well, right? That's the good thing about a film like that. There's so many different films that try and do the same thing, but it's just too too goofy, right? Too goofy, too obvious. And I kind of feel that is, for me anyway, where we fall with Inheritance. It's like you've got this family that dislike each other, but instead of, one of those situations where it's kind of like, what do you call it? Oh my God, my words have disappeared. You know, um, Jesus Christ. It's when you're being like nasty, but it's like you know, you're trying to hide it, right? It's that kind of thing where it's all below the surface, right? You're not overtly being a dick, but you're, throw shade through certain comments and assumptions and things like that, right? That's what it usually will be, right? Maybe big arguments happen, but that's after some drinks or something, but it's not all the time. But with this, they're pretty much like hating on each other from jump, right? And it's just a bit like, it's a bit much. It's a bit much, right? You've got this, like, all the dynamics are just typical stereotypes, the couple who are breaking up, right? The couple where there's a big age difference, right? So it's just like, are they together for the money or is it really love? Right? You've got the gay couple who bicker a lot, you know what I mean? That it's just, we've seen this time and time again, right? And then you've got the twists, which, I mean, the first twist you could see coming, and then you knew the second twist was coming, right? Like, everything was kind of transparent here. And then you've got, like, the deal with the chocolates, right? Here's the weird thing about with the chocolates. They didn't just eat them. You know what I mean? Like, those would have been eaten a while ago, which then means there's no delay, right? There's no delay. You know what I mean? It's like, so you have that situation. It's just the whole thing with the police. Again, if they're coming, you're asking for stuff, right? So it's just these interactions, these different things don't really make any sense. They don't line up, right? If you could watch it and go, yeah, that would have fooled me too, then you've got something good. But when nothing fools you, there's no longer a surprise, right? So there's no twists because you can see through it all, you know? And I think a lot of times with these films, they'll have the acting so out there that it's kind of a caricature rather than, you know, this fun role, right? There's a very thin line. Again, Knives Out, they do it very well, you know, because not every character is crazy and out there and laughable, right? It's this balance. But every character really in Inheritance is kind of weird and off and doing odd things, you know? So yeah, it's a shame, man. It's a shame. I'm glad it was only 90 minutes because boy, I was flagging on this. I was flagging. I was just like, oh man, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to watch this film? It's just, oh dear, oh dear. Like, it's, it's a Polish film, so yes, it's dubbed, and I'm always thankful for that. Because subtitles are hard, but with this, the dubbing wasn't great. Like, the dubbing wasn't like, you can the problem is you can see it's dubbed. And what I mean is it's not like necessarily the words don't match the lips, but it's just in the way, with someone speaking, it's then the dub is over the top, right? Like the way people are like, no, oh my God, what is happening here? And you're just like, wait, what did they do? Like, come on, man. Like, come on. So yeah, it makes it a very weird watch. But I think the biggest issue with this, right, is the initial thread of the story, right? Because it's alluded that someone did a thing, but when you actually see the footage, you're just like, well, you no, a weird assumption was made, right? A weird because we see the guy do a thing. So you're just like, when you look at it, it'd be like, well, yeah, why would it be that other thing rather than the bigger thing? Right? It's just, it's a weird thing to hang a story on because it makes no sense. It really makes no sense. You know, you think as a kid, maybe as an adult, you'd realize that. So yeah, it's a weird one because nothing is built on a solid foundation. Everything is just flimsy. It's just a little flimsy for my liking anyway. You feel me? Um, Maybe you're into it, right? You might dig it. You know, it's not to say that you shouldn't. It's just it wasn't for me. Right? That was the thing. It wasn't for me, which is fine. You know, it is fine. I yeah, I guess if you like a whodunit, right? If that's your bag, you know, you like those kind of things, then maybe you want to check it out. Trying to think of other films that could play in a similar vein. Let's have a think. Because it's usually going to be a foreign film, you know, because I think it's got to feel, something like this has got to feel to it, right? It's not going to be like if you watched Hitman, right? I'm not going to be like, you would like Inheritance, because no, I don't think you would. Yeah, I don't know. Think of a crime film, but well, a foreign one, a Polish crime film. Then I think that will play into if you are going to the Inheritance or not. But it's now on Netflix, so you can watch it at your will. Okay, Inheritance.